Well, top of the morning to you. As is probably pretty obvious from the timestamp on this video, it is once again not 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or anything even vaguely resembling those times. I've got to get better about doing this. I've discovered the insidious nature of this whole get up at 5 a.m. thing. It's really bad, and here's why. Getting up at 5 a.m. once or a couple of times, that's easy. Getting up at 5 a.m. consistently, that's the hard part, because it requires you to, gasp, go to bed at a reasonable time. And I actually think that that's what this challenge is really meant to do, is to force you by sheer exhaustion to go to bed when you are supposed to go to bed. Because if you don't go to bed, you're not getting up at 5 a.m. because you're so damn tired you can't open your eyes. So that was my my brilliant morning deduction. As you can tell, though, I am a little more awake than I usually am, and I'm a little bit more energized. But I was walking down towards my normal spot today, and I caught myself doing something that I swore to myself I would never in a million years do. And it's caused me to reflect over a few things in the last couple of days, and I've come to a terrible conclusion. And that conclusion is that I'm fat. I know, shocker. There's a bunch of you out there who are like, seriously, we've known this for years. Where have you been? Well, apparently where I've been is living in a younger or in a thinner person's body, because I didn't notice it happening. Well, I kind of did. On the way over here, I caught myself doing what I affectionately refer to as fat man walking. You know, it's the stride where you kind of set your gut back. You know, you arch your back so your gut's kind of better balanced over your center of gravity, and you take the big rolling steps. And I caught myself doing that and went, oh God, no. So here's the thing. I've been overweight for most of my life. And this is not a shock. I know I've been overweight for actually, I think I've been overweight my entire life. I think I was overweight as a toddler, so. But I have always made a concerted effort not to move like somebody who is overweight. I work very hard to control my muscles, control their movement, and not walk like I don't have control over my own body. I also don't move like a person who is as big as I am. It's something that friends of mine have noticed. I tend to not move the same way that somebody my size normally moves. I mean, I'm a big guy. I've got a very big frame. I've got huge shoulders, but sometimes I forget how big I am, and I just don't move that way. But I caught myself doing it this morning. And then I remembered that last night, when my dear, patient, loving wife is trying to cut out a couple of patterns for me. She's working on making us matching outfits for something that's coming up. And we came to the the terrible, horrible conclusion that I don't fit any of the pattern sizes. I'm too big. My chest technically fits within the largest pattern size. My waist even technically fits in the pattern sized. My butt does not. I'm sorry to say this so bluntly, I've got a black woman's butt, and it's a little bit annoying. And there's been other things. Just the fact that it was a struggle this morning to tie my own shoe was excuse me, embarrassing. And I mean, that's something I've had a hard time with for a while, but it was particularly difficult today. So, here's the thing. What am I going to do about it? And that's a very good question, because I can sit here and bellyache about being fat all I want, but the real question is, what am I going to do about it? That's where things are getting difficult. I've tried almost everything. I have tried dieting. I have tried low fat. I have tried low sugar. I have tried low carb. I have tried low carb, low starch. I have tried eating, I've even tried gluten-free. The diets do nothing, and they are so depressing to be on that my mental health tanks, which causes me to snack, and it just ruins the entire process. I've tried exercise. I have gone through periods of my life when I actually went to the gym religiously. And when I go to the gym, I don't just, get on the treadmill for 5 minutes and, move a couple of weights around. No. I got my heart rate up, I kept it going, and when I did weights, my philosophy has always been maximum weight that my body can handle. Tear the muscle down, give it a few days to rebuild itself, and do it again. So when I was doing this religiously, I didn't lose any weight. I actually gained weight because I was gaining muscle faster than I was losing fat. Now, there's reasons why that could have been the case, but honestly, exercise doesn't work. Throughout most of my life, I have actually taken long walks. I mean, it hasn't been a everyday thing like I'm aiming to do now, but honestly, during the summer, most days I'm out walking. So it doesn't seem to matter how much I exercise. My weight just has steadily crept up over the course of my life. I've tried I've tried various pills that you get over the counter to try to bring the weight down, and they seem to work for a while, but all they really seem to do is throw my digestive system off track. So I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to forestall. Not that very many people watch these, but I'm going to forestall any helpful comments because I know everybody has their favorite way to lose weight, their favorite idea on how the human body works, but the simple truth of the matter is we don't know how the body works. We have guesses, we have ideas, but every time we think we have established a specific way that the human body functions, another study comes out and gives contradictory information. It's like being back in my old speech and debate days all over again. Every time I thought I found the perfect piece of evidence, somebody else founds. Wow. Yes, I used to do good at English. Somebody else finds a contradictory piece of evidence. So, for the crowd that says try low carb, well, I can point you to evidence that says carbs are actually the thing you need. The people that say try low fat, I can show you more evidence that goes, no, fat's not actually that bad. To the people who say cut out sugar, I can show you evidence as to why sugar is good for you. Any diet, any plan on the market, anything that someone's come up with, I can show you evidence why it doesn't work. So, I don't know what to do here. I have tried everything I can to get rid of this and to get rid of this, and it just doesn't want to go away. But here's the thing. It doesn't mean I get to stop trying. And that's the conclusion I came to this morning. I have to try. I have to make an effort to improve myself. I need to make an effort to be better. So I'm going to be redoubling my efforts to do this whole get up at 5 a.m. and take a walk thing. My walk is not inconsiderable. I think the loop that I normally walk I think it's a good 1.5 miles, honestly. And it's not like I'm plodding along. I'm moving at a decent pace, so I'm going to redouble my efforts to do the walk. I'm going to really dial down on what I'm eating. The things that I have had the best luck with isn't cutting anything out, but it's eating balanced. It is balancing the food groups, not according to the pyramid, but according to ratios that my wife and I have found through trial and error. And on top of that, I'm probably going to be looking for a new doctor because I still really think that something is messed up with my thyroid. I can't prove it, but I think it is. So we'll see. But that's the thing, is that I am done belly aching about problems and not trying to fix them. I'm usually pretty good about that, but in the last couple of years I've gotten so stinking lazy, it's not okay. So we're making changes this year. And this is actually where I was going to stop. I was going to sign off here, but I remembered something that I wanted to mention. Last year, no, it was last year now, technically, in March, I had a wonderful opportunity to take a trip to Zimbabwe. When I was down there, and a lot of people are going to laugh, it's really stereotypical, but I was actually helping with an orphanage down there for orphans. Duh, orphanage, wow. Yep, the speech savant, that's me. But we were helping with various different groups of orphans, and there was an older group that we had talked to, and so as a show of support, we went out to one of their soccer games. And while I was watching, taking pictures, and just enjoying being out and about, somebody just out of the blue, I think it was a coach from one of the other teams in the league that these guys were competing in, came up and struck up a conversation with me. And that's what was great about Zimbabwe. The people there are so friendly. It's almost scary to people from America because it's just not how we do things, but they are so friendly. So he comes up to me and we start talking, and I had mentioned that in my past I played soccer. And he's like, oh, well, why don't you play now? And I know I was kind of waffling. I was like, well, life kind of got in the way and stuff took priority. And he looks at me dead on and goes, and you got fat. And I just looked at him and I'm like, what'd you call me? And, I try not to get offended, but I felt my ire kind of rising, and I was getting real worked up about it. But I chose. I'm like, no, he's right. It's a fair observation. And yeah, I got fat, and that's what happened. We were talking about it. It wasn't until a couple of days later when I was talking about this conversation with the people that I was staying with down there. And I said, no, Matt, you don't understand. In Zimbabwe, fat is a compliment. He paid you a big compliment because in Zimbabwe, if you're fat, it means you have money for food. Not only do you have money for food, but you have money for extra food. And it kind of shook me, and I said, that's such a different way of looking at things. So I don't know why it felt like it was important to include that. And I think it's because while I am trying to improve my health, while I'm trying to better myself, while I am trying to lose weight, to be a better person, I need to remember how blessed I am. That I live not only that I live in a country, but that I am in a place in my life where I can be fat. I have been through chunks of my life where I didn't have enough money for food, and they were terrifying. But I'm not there anymore. There's always food on the table, and even if there wasn't, there's friends and family who would feed me if I needed them to. So that's the perspective I'm trying to maintain. Gonna be better, gonna work harder on myself, but I'm going to remember how blessed I am that I have everything that I have. So that's the video journal for today. Hope all of you people have a fantastic day and a great morning, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.